Oh, nice.
Oh, it's in there. So, all right, welcome to Manning the Grill, episode 7 on March 3rd. God, it's March already. Can you believe that? Crazy. Manning the Grill, episode 7, my lunchtime chat, sponsored by Dream Lane Real Estate. Today, we're going to talk about some local small business. And like it says in the description, you guys know how I love small business. You know how I love to support small business. You know how I love snowboarding. You guys, some of them might have saw my video of me trying to chase my daughter down Devil's Head a couple weeks ago. I was telling Ian about this. I'm like, I go switch. I'm a goofy footer, and I was filming her, and I was like, she got behind me. I was like, I can't turn around that fast. Like, you got to get back in front of me on this side, right? So I am pleased to have the gentleman from Elevation Supply Company on today, and to talk about their wonderful, wonderful products made down there in Mt Horeb. How you guys doing?
Very good, very good. Thank you for having us.
Why don't you guys introduce yourselves real quick?
Sure. Well, I don't know where he is on the screen.
There we go.
The man with the beard, Ian. Go ahead.
Yeah, so my name's Ian Mullarny. I have been snowboarding for 29 years at this point, in partnership with Adam here from Elevation Supply Company, ESC Gloves. We are a local Madison business, but we kind of spread, well, nationally at this point. And my love and admiration for the sport really runs deep, and that's really why I, really got interested in the project to begin with.
Nice.
Yeah, and I'm AdamHollenzer. Very similar to Ian. What he just said, I've been snowboarding for longer than I'm going to admit. But the love of the sport and I guess my drive to stay in it for as long as possible kind of prompted this thought, and to have a little bit of fun and continue on, hopefully well past my physical ability to keep carrying on. But I hope that doesn't end anytime soon. So
sure, I totally hear you. Because there's that question, right? I'm in my 40s now, so I've been snowboarding 20 years. I started when I was like 24. A guy took me out on Alpine Valley in Milwaukee there, or just wherever that is, Quantico or wherever, just west of Milwaukee. And it was a 2-for-1 Thursday nights. And I've been kind of doing that for the last 20 years, right? Figuring out the deal nights for whatever your local mountain is and hitting the slopes on those nights and, closing the bar down and having a little fun, that whole thing. How long have you guys been doing it? And how did you get into a glove manufacturer? How did you get to this big bad world of brand marketing? Because I know a little bit about it. I'll ask you some pertinent questions, but how'd you get into it? How'd you start? How long have you been doing it?
Yeah, well, so I've been in apparel design for quite some time now, and
okay.
Just again my love for snowboarding and the sport, just being outdoors. I always knew that something bigger was probably going to come down the road, and it was just pretty natural transition, I guess. I started thinking about the outerwear and stuff that's involved with the industry, fashion, stuff like that. So the easiest entry point is kind of gloves, I guess. You don't have to worry about all sorts of different SKUs and things like that, although I'm coming to realize that, after doing this for a few years now, that there's a number of SKUs. There's more involved than you ever think, just like any small business, really. But one day, just all of the stars aligned, ducks lined up, however you want to say it. And I decided I was going to just take the leap and try to start doing something on my own. And there was a couple pieces of the puzzle missing, and one of them obviously is Ian. And we had gotten to know each other, quite some time ago, and I knew what he did and the talent level that he could bring to, I guess, a lack of what I had in e-commerce and web design and stuff like that. And just knew that he was a really straightforward dude. And so I kind of approached him about the idea, and without much hesitation, he was just kind of like, yeah, let's do this. And so then we started talking more, and then one of our other business partner, who's not on here today, Seth, he and I had been talking for a while before that also about, maybe someday this, maybe someday that. And, I just eventually talked to both of them about it. And we've made everything work, and it's been a really fun journey so far, trying at times, but I've also, met one of probably my closest best friends through the process too. So it's been really good. And I'm really looking forward. We've got a lot of exciting stuff going on right now, and I'm really looking forward to what happens next.
Nice. You mentioned, let me find that real quick. You mentioned your gloves. I love that. I got that pulled up. I actually have a pair of triggers. I love the name, by the way. So when it comes to branding, I'll ask you this question, Ian. I ordered them up because when Dawn, and for those of you who don't know, Ian's wife, we are on this today because of my relationship with Ian's wife. She ran for Leukemia Lymphoma Society Woman of the Year 2019. I ran in 2020 for Man of the Year, not Woman. And I lose to her because she's beautiful. But I ran for Man of the Year in 2021, and we were just literally connecting because we hadn't had a chance to connect one-on-one with all this pandemic stuff, and we were just talking about it. And that's how we got on the subject. And I think she saw me snowboard. I think she saw one of my videos out snowboarding. She was like, my husband makes these gloves. I was like, what? So I literally went and bought them immediately. I'm going to put the link. I was thinking about it. I'm going to take the link here and put them down. Adam, you mentioned gloves was the easiest point of entry for you guys, low-hanging fruit, right? Ian, what were your feelings on that, and what do you bring to the table from a business standpoint, production standpoint? What's your value?
Yeah, so besides being a connoisseur of gloves, which just kind of happened, I had always, gloves and outerwear has kind of been like, the women's shoe line for me. I always like having a couple of different options. And I thought it was a really interesting idea. The barrier to entry can be a little bit lower, especially for a small business to start out. If you think about board manufacturers or something like that, there's a lot more involved that goes into that. And even outerwear like jackets and stuff, things can get very expensive from a minimum order quantity and just overall cost involved with the project. But my background is really in advertising and marketing.
Okay.
I work at an ad agency in Madison as well, full time. Nice. So I brought to the table a lot of understanding of web development, online advertising, marketing, and really kind of taking what Adam's skill set in brand development and product development and pushing it out to the powers that be out in the internet. Reaching people that we align with for similar thoughts or feelings, and resourcing writers and placing ads and getting in front of people just to introduce what it is that we're doing from a really small business to as many people as we can. So that was my background and my key role in the original engagement.
Nice. So who came up with this whole hot box idea? And for those that don't know, I'll put a link in the bottom there. I've got my pair here, and it's a great idea. Like I said, I told them before we got on, I'm gonna let them explain it, but this glove is pretty awesome. You roll it inside out. I'll put the video in there, and there's a little pocket here for this little thing. For those of my friends out there, because a lot of my friends are gonna be watching this, it's not that kind of hot box. I'm from Michigan, right? They're freaks over there, but this concept is cool. How did you come up with it? Who kind of drove it? I love the idea. I annoyingly have not had a chance to test these out. I got them last week, and it was raining. It was a rough day last Thursday, and my daughter had an event, so I have not had a chance to go knuckle drag these yet. But tell me a little about the glove, how you got to the hot box concept. Better for skiers, better for snowboarders. What do you think?
Well, I'll start here, Ian, I guess, and maybe you can fill in points as we go. But you kind of hit it right on, Lane. You got to target the market, right? So the hot box kind of fit branding wise, and I'll stop explaining there. I don't want to prove myself guilty. Yeah, the hot box is pretty much just this little pocket that sits inside the wrist location of all of our gloves.
Okay.
And then just like you said, oh shoot, you're gonna play that for them? Yeah.
They're not gonna hear it though. I turned the volume down. I'll just let them walk through while you kind of explain it.
Yeah. So as you can kind of see there, this is like version 1.0. I tried to mimic the Red Bull TV thing down there or whatever. But essentially it's just this little pocket and we've rebranded everything so it's a little bit more obvious that it's inside the glove there.
Okay.
You know, grab this tab, flip it open, and slide any really those disposable heat packs like hot hands or grabbers, stuff like that. We recommend the hot hands ones because they're kind of scaled to fit in here, ideally. But then what that does,
are there a lot of different sizes of those in the marketplace, or?
You know, they're all pretty common size, but we've just found that the Hot Hands brand, we don't have any affiliation with them, but the Hot Hands brand, stays, right?
Watch what you say now.
it stays warmer the longest, and the temperature and everything is just about right, and it works for us because what it does then is it sits like right inside the wrist here where your radial artery is.
Sure.
So it warms that blood not only in your hands, but then pumps that warm blood back into your core also, which can help take the chill off on the really cold days. Or, you know, you wake up like today would have been a great, you know, opportunity to get out there with some spring gloves. Maybe you throw the hot box in this morning when it was, you know, 20s, low 30s. And then as it warms up, pull them out and you're good with these, our spring gloves. And another thing, people don't really know that you can take those disposable heat packs, throw them in a Ziploc bag, and hold on to them. They're not done right away. It's not like a one and done thing. You just seal the air off from them because it's a chemical reaction. So
sure.
Yeah, and just to add, you know, I think that was one of the key defining differentiators for our glove company to kick off. You know, Adam had been testing this concept for years on really cold nights here in Wisconsin. And as anybody knows, in Wisconsin here, things can get really cold. So he had been testing that for several years up to that point to figure out how that concept could work. You know, the hot hands in the glove isn't necessarily a new idea, but it wasn't necessarily used in that specific position. You know,
Gotcha.
Most often gloves would have a zipper on top of the hand. It would just kind of get in the way. So we made the hot box to be functional, you know, for warming your core, but not necessary either. So it's a total add-on. And as Adam said, it's a staple of every glove that we produce that is involved within seamlessly in all of our gloves. And the great thing about it is you know, on warmer days when you know it's going to be warmer in the afternoon, you can wear a thinner glove. You can put that in. Your hands will still be warm, but also the blood flow back to your core can help you wear less layers on cold days. So when Adam was testing that on really cold days, you know, instead of wearing 5 or 6 layers when it's -20, you know, maybe you jump down to a jacket and a long sleeve and a t-shirt or something like that. So it just enables you to be more mobile and have more dexterity in colder weather.
Sure, and that makes total sense, especially when you ski in the Midwest. I mean, we're always going to get those nights where it's frigid, you're on snow. The other night we went what was moist snow. I don't know if you guys went that a couple weeks ago. It was just like the wettest snow. I fell like 9 times because I'd catch an edge and I'm gone down. And you're right, it's awesome. What about kids? Does this work with the? So you explained how the size works with the standard size in the hot box, or I'm sorry, in the glove with the, what was the brand again? No affiliation. What was the brand again?
The hot hands.
Hot hands, yeah. What about your little kids? I know I've got my daughter involved this year. Finally got her on the slopes. Not using poles. She's skiing, but my son will probably start snowboarding. How does it work with little kids' gloves? Is there even an option for them?
Well, we don't have kids' gloves yet, but they are coming in next season's offering. They will still have the hot box in them, and we're just, you know, I think. Well, actually, I take that back. It's undecided as of yet. I've gone both ways because I don't want the kids' experience to be. They get fussy, right? Like I could see, you know, Ian's
exactly.
son.
I'm asking the question, Adam. Exactly. I'm asking the question. How can I get them more comfortable and stay out there longer, right?
Right. So basically what's going to happen is we're going to start small with just some mittens, you know, in a couple different styles or designs, but they're going to be heavily insulated to begin with.
Sure.
So it's kind of up in the air whether or not I actually want to do the hot box because I don't want them being like, you know, they get curious and what is this and why is my hand getting so hot versus just being naturally insulated like they are in a mitten that they would buy now.
Sure.
So
Well, it's interesting because literally the first thing with my daughter was like, all right, bring another set of gloves. So all of us have, thousands of those little thin pair of gloves that you put on and you put over another pair. So like the shell, right? Now, the thing I love about these right off the bat is the construction feels amazing, right? Is this leather on the inside of this, outside of this?
Yeah, it is. Yep, goat skin's 100% goat skin leather, and then that particular style has a nylon upper, so the snow sheds off under your sleeve or over your sleeve or whatever. Yeah.
It's not in the glove. On those nights when I fall down, I'm like, feel it all out.
You're not falling, you're not trying.
Right. Well, I'm definitely trying, my friend. 20 years ago. So you talked a few minutes ago, evolution for the kids, right? Where have you been? Like, where you started, where you are now, and where do you guys hope to go in terms of the glove? I know there's a mitten. I love the mitten because I'm a snowboarder, right? I'm assuming the skiers love the actual having all the fingers out. I know this isn't an earth-shattering design, but I'm assuming this penguin trigger finger with the hot box is probably, I mean, can I say proprietary? Is it a patented thing you have going on? Is it proprietary, anything like that? Or where do you hope to go from there?
No, yeah. I know Ian wants to get after this, so I'm gonna let him go.
You're right. The trigger finger is something that has been done many times by other manufacturers. What's nice about it is it's kind of a blend between a glove and a mitten, right? You have some more dexterity to move your hands. But I don't necessarily know that there's been a trend one way or another. I think that there's a lot of younger skiers or snowboarders that either prefer gloves or mitts. I think mitts have kind of been a little bit more popular in the last 3 to 5 years, but we like to offer a diverse option, if you will, for our customers to kind of pick between. We initially worked specifically with the UW in Madison to try and pursue a patent on the hotbox idea, and it was just deemed that because it's kind of a medical concept that it wasn't really within our best interest. Instead of trying to get a patent on it, we pursued just the first to market. We've got a trademark and we operate under the context that, we'll continue to evolve it as we see fit.
Fair enough. That's good. So how are you selling these? I know Adam's mentioned before, I don't know if I can get a picture of his background there. The top left corner of your thing, you said you're not doing trade shows. I'm assuming at your size right now, that was a big piece of your business. How are you getting the word out there, right? And I'm saying that because I literally have known Dawn for a year and didn't know this until I actually randomly mentioned it to her, right? How do we get people to know about this? We have 5 live followers right now. This will probably marinate out to a couple people. You guys can share it as well. What do you want them to know to get your product in people's hands?
Yeah. Well, the trade show thing was it was fresh for us. It was pretty new.
Okay.
In the first couple of years, we focused primarily on just product development and direct to consumer sales. And then we have a pretty long time that is
when you say direct consumer sales, like buying it at snowboard shops or
so straight directly from us.
Okay.
Yeah, our webpage, social, with social ads and stuff like that, selling from us directly to the consumer.
Sure.
Trade show for us is an opportunity to get out in front of the buyers at the shops and stuff like that, where they would buy wholesale from us and then put it on their floor, and hopefully try to develop the bulk sales that route. Obviously, with everything happening in 2020. We had just, quite honestly, had just returned from our first really big trade show, outdoor retailer in Denver, hey, we're on the scene, we're here, we got back and shit hit the fan.
That was a year ago, right?
Yeah, pretty much exactly a year ago. So this year, it's been interesting as far as the sales front goes, but at the same time, I've been really surprised to see we're above where we were last year.
Nice.
So we're starting to gain some brand recognition, some traction, and people are realizing that we're out there and we've got what we've got, and I believe it's a pretty quality product. So.
Totally quality product. Speaking of that, so one of the videos you have, I think I have it here to share. real quick, is this cat named, as I was doing research on you, right? This Jonathan Buckmaster guy.
Buckhouse.
Yeah.
Buckhouse, sorry. I got to find it again.
Yeah.
Is that a good route for advertising and sales, is sponsoring like riders? Here it is. I found it.
Yeah, definitely. Buckhouse was a guy that we had met. Oh God, I met him probably 5 or 6 years ago at this point.
I love this right here. That part right there cracks me up.
Yeah, I mean, and the crazy thing about him, he lives in Colorado. He quit his job to really pursue snowboarding and to really like do it every day. So, I mean, he rides the same glove that you have there, Lane, the Arvexo trigger mitt. And he rides like almost 300 days a year, and he'll put on 300 days with one of our pair of gloves. So it's absolutely insane. I mean, that speaks a ton to the quality of the leather and the construction that we've got. But yeah, I mean, working with people from an influencer level or a rider level is definitely key. We really want to work with people that share the same mindset that we have.
Sure.
Buckhouse has got drive. He's got charisma. He can talk with people. He's not one of those guys that are out there, wrecking spots or whatever. And he's just a great guy. He does get some hate on the internet, but everybody, you can't appeal to everyone at once. But he's a quality guy, and we're continuing to pursue partnerships like that. I mean, we've got a team sign up on our website for anybody that's interested, with different tiers of kind of involvement and expectations from them. But yeah, I mean, not only do connecting with people that share our same mindset, we get to ride with them too. So if we go out to Colorado, we ride with as many people as we can that are on our team. We try and spread the word. Again, it's like partnering with people that share the same level of love for the sport. And that's really what it comes down to. So yeah, definitely working with people in that capacity is a huge plus. And not only that, they help share the stoke, so it's great.
Yeah. It kind of sounds like very familiar to how you guys started the business in the first place.
Yeah.
A couple guys sharing the stoke.
Yeah.
Well, I want to ask real quick. I love the packaging, right? When it came, hold on, I dropped it. It came in the mail. It was awesome. As a fellow board head, one of my favorite pieces was getting the hell yes and high five sticker, baby. And I'm like, first off, my first thought, I didn't care what the gloves. I'm like, how do I get like 16 more of these stickers to splash them all over my house? And then I got the ESC gloves one. How did you come up with the taglines? Long live the thrill, hell yes and high fives. And hell yes and high fives is awesome. I was surprised there wasn't a hashtag for it. You might want to do that, but I made one for you on the stream here. But how did you come up with that? How's it been working? Like, are people relating to it? I know relationship is part of the brand piece. Is it working?
Yeah, I think so. I feel like, originally we were trying to spin off of the whole Elevation Supply Company, ESC, and then using that as like escape, and it just seemed too, I don't know, general, vague, overused stuff like that, whatever. We're not trying to be a Jeep commercial or whatever. I just kind of look back at, again, kind of why we're, at least me personally, trying to do this, and it's just to stay involved and keep this thing living as long as possible. And it's a thrill, right? So it's just long live the thrill. So I think first and foremost, that's kind of our mantra.
Sure.
And then being a glove company, you drop a cliff, it's a hell yeah, and then a high five with your homie, right? So that's kind of the thing where it came from. So the hell yeahs the hell yeahs and high fives is it's just natural in the sport, and it just kind of fit with the overall glove appeal. So
perfect. You got any comments on that, Adam or Ian, as a brand guy?
I think we originally struggled, as Adam said, with the escape. Our idea with ESC gloves and Elevation Supply Company, it had a lot of legs, right? So we just needed to figure, what's your battle cry, and what can you really stand behind? So, the high fives and hell yeahs, I think works really well. I love it personally. And I'm glad that you like the sticker, because stickers are kind of a dying art with a lot of companies. But it's a great little add-on piece that people love. So yeah, I'm fully committed to the high fives and hell yeahs, and we ride pretty much multiple times a week, and there's always high fives flying around for sure.
I was thinking when I was doing this, I'm like, I think they should get if it's still available. I'm probably gonna screw it up because I'm doing it on live here, but you should get that as your Instagram page. High fives and hell yes.
Yeah.
High fives and hell yes, and just bang it out there, right?
Well,
we got a question. So I'm part of this.
I'm gonna get it.
Say what?
Yeah, that's it's probably a good call. I just started like where people can post up their weekend adventures or whatever, and yeah.
So I'm part of this side little project, sort of part of this thing called the Unofficial Devil's Head Ski Team. Unofficial! Want to see this? I probably should have sent it out to him. One of their members, Dan Burleson, who's on the other side of this building right now, asked me a quick question. What are you guys' favorite places in Colorado, and where can I join the team again? The team link is on the link, right?
Yeah. Yep. Well, I'll give you mine quick. I've been going to Colorado for 20 some years with my family. Like every spring, we'll do a spring trip. And I think this year might be the first year that I'm going to bring our son. So super excited about that.
And how old is he?
He's 5. He's 5.
So yep. First time elevation, right?
Yep. But I really love A Basin. If we're just talking like Summit County area, like A Basin holds a place in my heart, and I really like Copper. They've got a lot of varied terrain there.
Okay, cool. You, Adam?
Yeah, I mean, I can agree to an extent. The problem, I get that question a lot, and there's always varying answers, but it's always because people's experiences wherever they are. It could. The Bexel glove and mitten, for example, was that name was born from Winter Storm Bexel when Ian and I were on this spring trip 4 years ago in Loveland, and the Winter Storm Bexel was on our way out of town. It dumped feet on us, and so like Loveland's pretty partial to me. Holds a pretty good spot in my heart, but I do love Copper too, because of just the sheer like rideability and the fun that I have there. Head a little south, Snowmass back in the day for me. I always had a ton of fun in Snowmass. But if we're gonna venture outside of the Rockies there, I'm gonna go up into Canada, and Whistler's.
Whistler, baby. Whistler, yes.
The number one.
You guys, we should all go. There's my brothers, my older brothers belong to this group called the NBS, National Brotherhood of Skiers.
Okay.
African American Ski Club, massive, 13 national clubs, worldwide organizations. And I'm laughing because my brother, I have one brother, both of them ski heavily. One snowboards heavily, both of them skis heavily. I went to visit them in January, which is my birthday. They have this huge summit there at Whistler every year. On January 15th, which is Martin Luther King's birthday, right? It's always in mid-January.
Awesome.
It's dope, man. 13,000 brothers and sisters just rolling down Whistler's. Nothing like beautiful, right? And I'm laughing because my brother lives in Utah, Salt Lake City. He lives probably 20 minutes from Snowbird.
Yeah,
which is where my kids learned how to ski. I didn't take them to anywhere around here. I took them to Snowbird.
Yes, with one blue run, that's all that Snowbird has. Otherwise, it's extreme double diamond, crazy cliff stuff. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yep, and that's where my kid and my son was fine. My daughter got altitude sickness, hasn't been back until this year. My son was like, God, he made a friend, and he was on the lift, and I was like, no, don't get on that one. But he's, like I say, 20 minutes from the front door of Snowbird, works there, and he almost told me not to come. He's like, no, we can't miss the summit in Whistler because Whistler is that good.
Yeah.
I've been to Tahoe, all over Utah, a couple places in Washington. I have not made it to Whistler yet, and it is on my bucket list to go there sometime in January. So I totally understand what you're saying, Adam, about every place has a little different. Because if I had to pick, I would pick Tahoe because my fondest memories of snowboarding were Sierra Cement in the fall when all our friends who lived in San Francisco got sick of snowboarding, and we would go visit, and they're like, yeah, go take our place. We've already paid for it, and just go up there. We're my fondest when we got annihilated It's probably a bad story. At squat in the hot tub, and I switched. I put on some skis, and the person with me put on snowboard. Now remember, I'm a size 13. I think he was a size 10. I squeezed my feet in these things and ski down squat because they close at 4 o'clock. Anyway, like you were saying, it's just a great story. Like every mountain has a different story to tell. Every experience that you leave it with you. So, all right, guys, we're at our 30-minute limit. I have posted. Oh, someone likes Big Sky. Oh, Chadwick. Oh, by the way, I just sold a pair of your gloves. If you see an order from a guy named Chad Lippin from Verona or Mt Horeb, he's actually from Mt Horeb.
Right on.
I let him see the gloves, and his kid's snowboard. He's from Michigan. You give me a little credit. He likes
thanks for the support.
Basin. No, anytime. Yeah, Steamboat Springs, Big Sky. In closing, anything you guys want to add? Where to get your product. I've put your links in there, how to join the team link, the order link, the Hotbox technology link. That's all going to show up on all 3 of the threads in the comment section. Anything you guys want me to add to it before we go? I really appreciate you guys jumping in.
I really appreciate it. Yeah, just support local snowboarding. Go see Adobe Focus. We got stuff coming into Freedom downtown at Jeff's shop pretty soon.
Okay.
If you don't see us at the shop you like to go to, tell them you want to see us there. But yeah, I mean, it's really all about, the love of the sport and, having a fun trip along the way. So, speaking of which, I'm about to right on out of here and go meet a couple of our team riders out at Tyrol and Mt Horeb. So enjoy the rest of the afternoon and maybe get some social clips too. So anybody watching wants to come out there and meet a couple of the team riders, you might already know them, but hey, you can come have some fun with us. So
awesome. Guys, I appreciate your time. I'm going to turn up a little tunes to take us out. Elevation Supply Company gloves. Make sure you get yourself a pair. How do I get us back on the big piece here? This thing drives me insane. Technology drives me nuts. Elevation Supply gloves. Go get you some. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Lynn. Take care.